I could not make this if I tried. I just cannot. And I need you guys to stay with me because this is probably going to blow your mind as much as it blew mine. So I had this patient, and this patient was extremely, extremely drowsy. And there was nothing that she was taking that should make her that drowsy. She was just like, I cannot hold my eyes open. Like, I am so drowsy. So I started questioning, are you taking anything that you are not prescribed, like vitamins, supplements, anything else, anything that you have changed in your diet or your life? And she says, no, not really. She's like, the only thing I take is melatonin. And I said, okay. And I said, how often are you taking melatonin and how many milligrams? She said, I take it about 4 times a day. She said, I think those are 10 or 20 milligrams. She was like, but I'm trying to get the highest dose. She said, so I can get a really good tan before the end of the summer. And I said, huh? And she said, yeah. She said, the higher the dose, the more you're going to tan. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, she was like, the more you take the melatonin, the more you're going to tan. She's like, I'm trying to get up to the highest dose. And I was like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. And I was like, but I hope you're not taking melatonin all day and all night long. And she said, well, yeah. She was like, because she said, I would rather just take the pill than lay out in the sun. And I said, take the pill? She was like, I can see now you don't know what you're doing. I said, ma'am, I'm trying to understand what you are saying here. And she says, I'm taking the melatonin. She was like, because I don't want to lay in the sun. I said, so you're taking melatonin to tan? She was like, yes. She was like, because that's what black people have in their skin. And that's it. I about fell out. I don't like, what the is she talking about? And I'm like, ma'am, I think you mean melanin, and baby, you can't buy that in a bottle. I'm like, what you are taking is a sleep aid, and that is why you are so freaking drowsy. And she looks at me like I'm totally stupid. Like I have no idea what is going on. And she's like, so that's not melatonin that's in their skin? I was like, no. That is melanin, and baby, you have to be born with it. That is not something you can buy in a bottle. You might want to throw them melatonins away before your ass goddamn collapse somewhere. I can't make this shit up.
This is why we really have to educate people in our education system. She confused melanin for melatonin. Girl, you are dumb. Just straight dumb. Oh my goodness.
Hey y'all, listen, have y'all seen the video of the young man who's the truck driver who had a conversation with an older white man at a restaurant, who the older white man basically confessed that when he was a firefighter back in the 60s and 70s, how him and his firefighter buddies used to let black people burn and listen to their screams and allow them to burn to death because of the 60s and 70s because they were black. Okay, I tagged him at the bottom. Go to his page, find the video, and take a listen. But listen, let me put this trigger warning out here. Everybody can't listen to this. So know your mindset and know your trigger level, okay, before you go listen to it. But anyway, once I listened to his video, it just brought me back to just a couple days ago. And I'm a true believer in things happen in threes. I don't know where I get it from, but I'm a true believer. Things happen in threes. So a few days ago, there were 2 patients in the waiting room. They were the last 2 patients of the day. One was a middle-aged white woman. The other was an older white woman. I would say she was probably in her 70s or 80s, right? And there was me. Me and the middle-aged white woman were having a conversation because she follows me on TikTok. I follow her. And we were talking about the whole washcloth thing. Age-old topic, right? So as me and her are talking, the middle-aged white woman goes, she goes, I don't get it. She said, I honestly think it's the South versus the North thing. She said, because me growing up in the South, in the Carolinas, she said, you can't come in my house without a washcloth. Now, you gonna use a washcloth to wash your butt. She says, I really think it's Northern white people who don't do it. So we just giggling amongst ourselves and we're talking. The older white lady looks at the younger white lady and looks at her kind of strange. And she goes, I'm sorry. She says, I'm confused. You use a washcloth? You bathe every day? So the younger white woman looks at her and goes, yes, ma'am. I bathe every day, sometimes 3 times a day. And yes, I grew up using a wash rag. The older white woman looks at the younger white woman and then looks at me. She goes, I can understand why she bathes every day, but I'm confused why you do. She says, honey, you're white. Your skin is pure. White skin is pure. We don't have to bathe every day because our skin is pure. Black people have to bathe daily because they don't know when they're dirty, and their skin is not pure as our skin. Wait, what? So the younger white woman looks at the older white woman and then looks at me, and she looks and says to the older white woman, she said, are you serious right now? She goes, I'm very serious. She said, when I was growing up back in the 40s, I was always told by my mama and my grandmama and my aunts and everybody in my family, white skin is pure. Black skin is not pure. If your skin is darker than my skin, you need to bathe every day because you have impurities in your skin. Black people don't know when they're dirty. So they have to bathe every day so they can be accepted by society. Now it's 2024. And this is her mindset. This is what she, and again, this is her mindset, and this is how she raised her children. Now, her children would be my age, 50, because I'm 54. She's close to my mama age. You understand? So if she raised her children like this, her children are raising their children like this. You get where I'm going? Okay. Let me tell you something. I've talked to a lot of people because of my profession. And I kid you not when I say this, and I do not say this to be ugly. It is more likely than it's not to find people with this mindset. It's more likely than not to find people with this mindset. To find people with the mindset of that 89-year-old man who dressed in the 60s and the 70s. I was born in 1970. That was only 54 years ago. You understand? It's more likely than not to find people with that mindset. Yeah. Let that sit in your head and marinate for about 10 minutes. And then we can come back and talk about it. All right. Bye.
It is so sad that mindsets like this still exist in America. That lady wholeheartedly admitted that she does not take showers. You know, she stank.